Welcome to this tutorial where we're going to create a sortable table or a filterable table. Now what you see here on your screen is a 4x4 table. Pretty easy to generate, pretty easy to manipulate. But what I'm going to show you is a much easier and cleaner way to manipulate this data so that when you have tables that are much larger than 4x4, you can ensure that all of the data for a particular label is carried over correctly. So let's take a look here. This is a pretty simple table. It really can't be manipulated. So for example, if I wanted to move A down here, if I wanted to uh, take all of these labels and reverse them instead of going in alphabetical order, switch them around. Or if I wanted to take these numbers and sort from high to low, I'd have to manually do all that by highlighting this area here, moving it down here, and then highlighting an area here, moving it up here, etc., etc. Now this, like I said, is easy for a 4x4 table, but not easy to do when you have a lot of data. There's a chance that you can miss something and it could really screw up your results. So what you want is a filterable table, and to do that, you simply go to the Insert tab up here, or Insert ribbon, and click on Table. Now, Excel is going to ask you where is the data for your table. It's certainly not here, so I'm going to highlight where that data is. It's right there. It's asking me if my table has headers, and it does, because the headers are label var A, var B, var C, var D. So I'll click that and say yes, and I get this. Now this table looks pretty similar to the one that we just saw, but it's got these arrows, and it's the arrows that make this table extremely powerful. So let's click on this arrow here. You can see it tells you how to sort the variables or the labels from A to Z or in reverse alphabetical order. Or you can just select a particular label that you want. Say you just want the data that corresponds with label D. There it is. And all of the other data has been excluded, so you can easily view this and manipulate it, enter it into statistical equations, and get results really fast. So our initial request was to have this data sorted in reverse alphabetical order. Currently we have A, D, C, and B. That's not the order we desire. Click on this, sort from Z to A, and now we have it in reverse alphabetical order. And if we want it in alphabetical order, there we go again. But we can also manipulate numbers, and actually manipulating numbers is really awesome with this type of a table. Click on the arrow here. Again, I could select or deselect any data point that I want or don't want. But I can sort smallest to largest. You see that the labels have changed. Here's the smallest, here's the largest. I could do something a little more fancy. I can go to Numbers filter and try to sort based on a more exact filter, such as something greater than a number or less than a number. I could just take the top 10. In this case, that wouldn't apply because there's only 4 variables, 4 data points. Anything above the average or even below the average, or even a filter that's even more complex than what you see here. So let's choose less than, and I want to choose anything that's less than 0. Because I only have one negative number here, I expect that only label B should remain when I hit OK. And that's exactly what happens. I can remove this filter by just saying clear the filter. And I can filter on 2 levels, for example. I can filter on variable B and say I just want these numbers. And then I can filter on variable C and say I just want these numbers. So I can filter across all of these labels, excuse me, which makes my data analysis even more powerful. Let's clear the filter here and make sure there's no other filters anywhere, and there aren't. Very good. 4x4 data has returned. So this is a great way to manipulate your data, get what you want really fast, and ensure that you've gotten all the data associated with a particular label so that you can do further statistical analyses. So let's walk through this one more time and let me show you how we did this. I'm going to undo a few steps and get back to what we had initially. Go to the Insert ribbon, hit Table. This is not where my table is, so I'm going to highlight where it is. My table does have headers, and there you go. It's that simple. Thank you.